Hello students, this is Miss Dalton and this is video 7.3, which talks about permutations, continuation from our previous video, and this is for AQR. Okay, in the last video we briefly talked about permutations and what they are, and we talked about a specific type of permutation, which was a distinguishable permutation. In this video we're going to talk about just a different way that you can type it into the calculator. You don't have to use this way, but you can if you want. So let's look at a little more detailed definition of a permutation. It says this is just the definition when you're looking at the number of permutations of n objects taken r at a time. So if r elements are chosen from a set of n objects, the number of possible permutations of the r objects is denoted by either. We use this symbol right here, NPR. You can also look at it this way. Sometimes you'll see that as well in textbooks where they put the P, then NR. And it can be computed using this formula right here. So NPR is equal to n factorial divided by n minus r factorial. Go ahead and do that again so that we can see the factorial in that denominator. And this will work for integers anywhere where n is the greatest and then r is like a subset of that permutation. Now, if you'll look real quick, like I'm going to show you this next example using the way that we did it in the previous video, and then now this new way, and I'll show you that they're exactly the same. So here's our example. We have these student awards, and at the end of each 6 weeks of study, a math class with 18 students selects one student to win each of 4 awards. Most creative problem solver, most proficient using the handheld, most diligent, and most improved. No student can receive the same award twice, and so that's how we know it's a permutation, because there's not going to be any repeating. In other words, the order matters. And any student can be honored in at most one way in any given 6 weeks. At the end of the first 6 weeks, in how many possible ways could the awards be given? Now, in the way that I showed you in the previous video was, to write down how many options you have for each position. So it would look like this. In that first position or that first award, I have 18 students that I can choose from. Then in the next award, I'm not going to choose that same student again, so then I have 17 students. Then I can't use those two again, so I'd have 16, then 15. That's going to equal out to 73,440. Now let's see what it looks like in this new formula. Again, notice that we get the same answer both times. But how you would set up this formula is the number that goes on this left side here, that's going to be your total, okay? So that means that's how many objects total we have to choose from, okay? In the right side, right here, that's what I call the subset. So, in other words, in this example, we have 18 total students, but we're choosing a subset of 4 awards. The total is always the number that goes in the numerator, so this represents your total. Then, when you do the denominator, you want to take that total minus the subset, okay? Now, if you look at this, like if I was to write this out, 18 factorial divided by 14 factorial, well, the 14 factorial is going to get canceled out from the numerator. So if I have like 18 times 17 times 16 times 15 times 14 on, well, you're going to see that that 14 factorial cancels with all of that 14 times 13, 12, and so on and so forth. So you really only have that 18 times 17, 16 times 15, which is how I taught you in that previous video. So again, whichever way you feel more comfortable doing it, then just continue to do it that way. Now let let me show you also how you would do this on the calculator. So I'm going to pull up some images from the calculator. So the first thing, in order to do this, let's see, I'm going to put that right here. The first button you would push is you have to push the math button, okay? Then we want to go over to the probability section, okay? So when you do that, your calculator is going to move over like this. Now, in the probability section, we have three selections that we've been using in this unit. First, we've got the factorial. So you learned that's where the factorial is, okay? Well, now you also see this NPR, which is permutations, and then in just a little bit, we'll be talking about combinations, which is going to be that NCR. So if I'm wanting to do a permutation, then of course we're going to select number 2. And then when you select number 2, then you'll have to type in the N and the R. So the total would go first, the 18, and then the subset would go second, the 4, and then you just hit enter and it'll give you that same answer. All right, so let's look at another example. So in this example, we have 12 horses that are in a horse show competition. The top 3 winning horses receive money. How many possible money-winning orders are there for a competition with 12 horses? Again, we know it's a permutation because the order matters. Like the first place is not going to be selected for second and third. It's going to go in order. So our total is 12. So this represents our N. Oops. And then 3 is our subset of what's being chosen. So that is your R. So you're going to have this NPR, so that'd be 12P3 equals, and you can either write it out. Well, I would go ahead and substitute it into your formula. Put the 12 factorial divided by 12 minus 3 factorial. Again, that formula comes from the previous slide. I'd like for you to write this step here. Okay, but then you can go ahead and type it in on your calculator and you get that answer of 1,320 combinations or possible orders. All right, so now we're going to move into combinations. And so with a combination, the order of the objects does not matter. So, for example, a lot of times we'll be picking committees or picking groups. And so like if you have Mike, Cheryl, David, and Joey, well, Joey, Cheryl, David, and Mike, that's the same group. Like there's not a specific place value for each of the different people. So that's going to be considered a combination. Now the formula for the combination is right here. So make sure you have that written down in your notes. NCR, again, the N represents the total and the R is the subset, just like in the permutations. So the N should be the largest number. And you can see that here the N is the largest number. The R is going to be less than the N. Okay, so you should always put the largest number first and then the smallest number. And this is the formula. But again, you can type it in on your calculator by going math, scroll over to probability, and then go down to the combination selection. All right, so let's look at an example. It says the number of possible 4 student committees from a class of 18 students. So again, that's kind of like my example of it doesn't matter the order of the committee, we're going to have 4 people, but there's not one person that ranks higher than the other. So this would be considered a combination. So we just type it into our formula or write it down in your formula, and then you can use your calculator to get the final answer. Final answer, 3,060 combinations. Next example. A coach must choose 5 starters from a team of 12 players. How many different ways can the coach choose the starters? Again, it's just a group of starters. There's not a specific order to that. The highest number, that represents your N. The lowest number represents your R. This is a combination, so here's how you would write it down and then type it into your calculator. And so there are 792 different combinations of starters. Okay, last example, looking at the U.S. Senate. The U.S. Senate has 100 members. And how many ways can a 20-member committee, that should say committee, be chosen? Well, 100 is your highest number, so that's your N. And 20 is your R. This is going to be a huge number. If we type it into our formula there, you can see that we have this huge number that represents the number of different combinations. I'm not even going to try to say that number because it is very large. Okay, hopefully you can tell the difference between permutations and combinations. And then again, as long as you remember where to find the buttons on your calculator, shouldn't be that big of a deal. Okay, we'll do the extra practice in class, so be ready to do that. Let me know if you have any questions.